Welcome back, everybody. We are going to dive in to honestly loving the life you live. So, this one's going to be a little more, I guess it's not going to be as tangible, I could say. It's just something we really want to talk about because we feel it's something, if somebody just had maybe the encouragement or some words of direction of how to do it, it would just help them shift into the right direction to do so. So, biggest thing I want to say, I guess, about it is like you should always just have fun. I'm not going to say that life's not hard. I'm not going to say you should never be stressed. You should never be angry. You're never going to be sad or this. But there's a way of making sure, like, are you doing everything you want to do every day to have fun and enjoy life? Are you surrounded by the right people? Are you making the right connections, like we've talked about? Do you have the right relationships? How are you taking care of yourself? What are you doing for your body? So we're going to dive in a little bit. But Kendra, to you, tell me, what does it mean to love life, and how do you love life, and just fill us in a little bit.
I love this question. And I also really appreciate that you started this saying we might not have the most tangible stuff for you to walk away with this time, but look, Lauren and I both really do love life. Like we love living, and for the most part, we're pretty positive, pretty happy people. And so sometimes just listening to people talk about that and like having that be the topic can be really uplifting. So I appreciate that was the lead in. I'm like, yeah, let's just talk about stuff that we love. Uh, I'll tell you what, the first thing that came to my mind, two things that came to my mind when you asked me that. Number one was one of my favorite quotes of all time. I'm a quotes person, if you haven't noticed yet. Sometimes I'm like, people say things better than I can, or it's like they take it right from my heart. I'm like, that's it. Write it down everywhere. And this quote has been one of my favorites for years and years and years. It's long. Um, but the very end of it says, don't stop. I'm like, it's my favorite quote. I can't remember exactly how it goes because it's very long. I can't remember the exact words, but basically it says stop overlooking the small things in life because one day you'll realize they're the big things. And the whole quote has stuff about that, like put marshmallows in your hot chocolate, jump on a trampoline, watch the sunset, lay under the stars. Like these are the little things in life that really are the big things. And I think the reason is because actually it's call back to our last episode. It's because they create connection, not just with other people, but with the earth and with ourselves and with everything that we're doing. It helps us remember why we're doing what we're doing, right? And put things into perspective. And the other thing, I did this whole meditation one time at a workshop that I was at. I guess I'll call it a workshop. And it was really fascinating because they facilitated this whole imagery of you meeting yourself in 10 years and you having a conversation with yourself and getting to ask future you questions. And so I asked future me deep in this meditation where I am just like there for real. Like I am talking to me in 10 years. And I said, how do I sustain this journey? How do I keep this up? And future me said, let it be easy. Don't take yourself so seriously and laugh often. And I just read that because I have it written in front of me two different times because it was so powerful to me. And maybe some part of that can be helpful to you as well. But really, I mean, that was so fascinating to kind of
That's
tune into that
awesome.
because it's not about
Yeah.
the steps you take to get there. It's about just allowing and letting it be what it is and soaking it all up so that it doesn't ever feel overwhelming. Like that other quote that we talked about before we started this, you're not stressed because you're doing too much. You're stressed because you're not doing enough of the things that you love. And I would argue that you can love everything you're doing and it's just about where your head's at.
You have to often, I'll even say, I ask myself, if I'm really stressed, everything's really hard, I'm just like, okay, am I having fun? I always have to pull myself together for a second. I'm like, okay, am I having fun? Yes, I'm having fun. I'm getting to do what I love. I'm happy with doing this. This is this. I just may be overwhelmed in the moment. So it's pulling yourself in. Not everything sucks, because when you're easily stressed or upset, you can be like, life sucks. It's but does life suck? It's maybe it's just that moment of time for a second. Pull yourself in and remember, what are we doing here? What's going on? who am I supposed to be talking to, or who can I reach out to for help? And just remembering it's like it's always just a moment in time, but you know what to do to make it better. You can easily do more each day to make you feel happier, to make situations seem less intense or anything like that too. So a lot of it also takes you taking care of yourself and making sure to keep your cup full so you can handle those hard situations and you can catch your emotions before they take control of you, and realizing where you're at in life to be able to pull yourself out and be like, hold on, this is what's going on. And I've been reading about that in the emotional intelligence book I'm having everybody read.
Mhm.
It's insane. He's like, if you can catch your emotions physically before they hit you mentally, you will beat them. And so you have to catch them. Like if something hits you, if stress hits you, if something like scary hits you, what it is like, how does your body respond? Like really tune in next time and be like, what am I feeling? It's like, I'm super stressed. I feel my neck cramping. Okay, if my
Mm.
neck cramps, I know I have really high anxiety. What can I do to calm down? I'm gonna go meditate for 5 minutes, or I'm gonna go on a walk, or maybe you just need to stand up and jump around. Whatever it is, it's like catching the physical feeling of an emotion before it hits you mentally so you can control it better and realize like it's just a moment. That was a long winded way to say just have fun. So it's fun.
Just have fun. Well, and yeah, let me dig into that even too a little bit, because sometimes there are seasons of life that are just straight up not fun. They're just straight up difficult.
Yep.
I'll be 100%
Oh, yeah.
transparent here. Never afraid to do that. I am
Here we
coming
are.
I'm currently still coming out of a season that was not fun, and I could not find the joy in it as I'm looking for it, and the things that have always worked for me, like, "Oh, if I just do this, I'll make you fun. If I just do this, I'll," and then what I realized, I didn't even really fully understand until today, and I'll tell you when it hit me, but I realized is that I was trying too hard to make it something that it wasn't, instead of just accepting it and embracing it as what it was, a moment of time, a part of the process. Uh, uh, Another thought that's really been helpful to me, a friend to me, is that when you can let go of needing to be happy or needing to be okay all the time, those moments where you don't feel okay, they don't hurt as much, because you realize this is part of it. This is part of it. Kind of like when you're dieting and you're dizzy and you're like, it's working. You just, if you're in pain, emotionally, mentally, physically, just like, I'm living, I'm here, this is life, and I'm doing it. But I was on a walk today. I just told Lauren about this actually. It was so fascinating. I was like, I'm gonna go on a little walk with the universe for a moment, just check in because I need it. And I left my phone, and I like to walk barefoot. My neighbors probably think I'm strange. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But I'm walking barefoot around my neighborhood, just talking. And one thing I said was, okay, I'm back. And immediately as I said it, I felt this really gentle reminder that I never went anywhere. And that kind of ties together what my little message is for this little part, with that it's always you. People will say, like, I don't feel like myself. But embrace it. It is you. You are multifaceted. You are capable of feeling the lowest of lows and the highest of highs. And if you can learn to just surrender and allow it, it will not only pass more gracefully and more with more ease, but you'll actually get from it what you can. And I have my one of my mentors, my coach, she tells me, she reminds me often that what we resist persists. So I say, when you can just embrace and allow, the hard times, the times that aren't fun, they they don't persist as long. You learn what you can from them and they pass. That's all they're coming for anyway. So see it as the gift that it is. Allow it. Stop trying to do your way through it. Just let it be. And know that eventually you'll come back to a place of happiness and fun.
I like to call those personalized life lessons.
Ah,
No one's is the
yeah.
same. Yep. Everyone gets a personalized life lesson. And I had a big one in the beginning of the year, very similar to like you in the sense of like my gut health went wild. My mind was not okay. Like it's everything at once just hits and it's hard and it's a lot. And you don't feel like you said, but it's like it's you and you have to sit in it and realize like what am I feeling and why am I feeling this and learn from it and absorb it. And it's like it's okay. It's gonna happen to everybody, but now watch if you can sit in that and you can feel your life lesson and learn from your life lesson that chapter is closed and now you move to the next chapter. And you're going to have more life lessons, but be willing to accept them because they're great for you, because you're going to experience probably 100 times more things than the person who doesn't want to face those issues. They're going to stay in chapter 2 for a while. So it's
Yeah.
like your book's going to be really, really big and full of really cool experiences and really cool lessons and highs and lows, but all of those are going to just keep forming you as a person and your knowledge and everything you're doing. Like, I sometimes I'm like, I like hard moments. I'm like, what am I learning?
Yeah.
What do I need to learn? What am I going to know? How am I going to move on? Like, they're good for you. They're really, really good for you.
That's just it. Like, that's exactly it. Like, you can actually appreciate them. You might not like them, but just like there are certain things that we just if we learn to embrace them the same way we embrace other things that are uncomfortable, then all of a sudden it just everything just kind of makes more sense. So like we go to the gym and it hurts sometimes. It's really uncomfortable to lift weights. Like it doesn't feel good. It's not cozy, but we see the purpose in it. We're like, this is how I change. This is challenge and challenging, right? And that's what we could say to life. Like, this is not comfortable, but I'm not going to like try and skip over it because if you don't challenge yourself, you won't change. And also, I think about riding like a roller coaster. Something fascinating. I've talked about this with my boys before. I don't remember if I've talked about it on our podcast yet because I talk about it all the time. But the physiological response you have to fear and anxiety is identical to the feelings you get when you're excited. So, like, think about going to be on a roller coaster, right? You just, you're so scared and you feel resistance on top of that. But the moment you're like, I'm actually just really excited, then the resistance leaves and all of it just kind of sits a little lighter. And I think it's the same thing with life. Like you can feel anxiety and stress, but it's like, oh, that's just because we're facing the unknown. And this is what living is. And I can just kind of allow it and trust everything's gonna be okay. I'm not gonna die on this roller coaster. I'm just scared because I don't know how it's gonna go. I've never been on it before and I'm freaking out, but I'm also excited because it's like new and it's an adventure and I don't have any idea what to expect and where the turns are, right? So, perspective is a huge key to having fun and just allowing life to be whatever it is and stop trying to force it to be, I don't know.
Not everything's perfect, and that's okay. And everything's figure outable. It's by, I always say, is it Maria or Marie Forleo?
Marie.
Yes. Okay, she talks about it. She's like, you have to name the feeling you get when you're really anxious or nervous about something. There's fear behind it, but you're also really excited. Like, know the difference of it and name it.
Mm-hmm.
Name that feeling. So when you have it come up, you're like, oh my God, this is what I'm feeling. It's okay. Because it changes your mindset from being like, your perspective of it, of like, should I be really scared and not do it? Or no, like, this is a good feeling. I'm going to do it and move forward with it.
Yeah.
You have to be able to notice that and catch it. Like, that was perfect. And she talks about in her book that, have you read Everything is Figure Outable?
No, but I love her. Marie Forleo. I love
Oh,
her.
that last chapter. If you ever need a little pick me up, that's what you go read. I'm
Okay,
not
I'm gonna
kidding
write
you.
it down. I'm gonna write it down right now and I'll put it, you know what? Why not? Let's link it in the notes. Everything's figure outable.
Yes, it's probably one of my favorite books. And if you Tony's read it and he likes it, so males, females, it doesn't matter. She's great, and she like drops some cuss words here and there, so it makes it a little more personable.
So, another thing to keep in mind is if you want to love your life, then you need to live your life and not get stuck in the past or in the present, which I think is real easy to do because you're in the past when you're thinking about things you've done or wish you had gone differently. There are people in my life I see doing this all the time. Like if with this new housing market that we're in, it'd be super easy to be like, "Oh, if only we had bought a house back then," but guess what? You freaking didn't. And like, if we buy a house, but then back then, if we buy a house right now, what if the market crashes? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can always get stuck in obviously, I'm talking about making decisions, but that's how our brains function. Like, they're constantly trying to solve our problems for us. So, if we just kind of give it problems to solve, like I've told you before, like I've mentioned before, give it the problem to solve instead of what happened already that you can't change or what might happen that you have absolutely no control over. What's happening right now? Is there an actual problem to be solved? Like we're hurting financially. So what's the problem? The problem is we need more money. Okay, so brain, how can we fix this problem? And the brain will just be like on it, Sherlock Holmes style. And you'll start getting ideas for how to make more money, how to maybe draw back on some things and whatnot, right? And you can also be like, this is something that's stressing me out and I want to love my life. So, what is in my life right now that I love and that is lovable right now? Your brain will automatically be like, "Burp, burp, burp, burp," pull all these things up, and you're just like, you can hack the system in a way of your brain.
Hmm.
Okay, Lauren. So, on that note
Yeah.
of if you want to love your life, start living your life, what would,
Okay.
like, how do you live your life in a way that makes you feel like you're just having fun and really living it?
Well, right now, like my kick that I just am in love with is my porch. I love my porch. I sit out front with all my tiki torches lit, my market lights on, my flowers, and I love sitting out there. But like for me, that fuels me, makes me feel good, puts me in a good space to be able to just do. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I always tell Tony, I'm like, "Ah, that just made my day sitting out there. It makes me so happy, makes me feel good, makes me proud to like see what I've put together. I got all my flowers, da da da. Like seeing all of it and appreciating it and being like, wow, I love this. Like I love life that I'm able to do that. I'm able to enjoy it. And it's beautiful, honestly. I really enjoy it. And I want to say too, it's like a lot of it has to deal with, I don't want to say like completely cutting people off or anything. It's like letting go of what happened is okay and things are going to happen and you need to move on. Like everyone's meant to feel something, like back to life lessons in a sense of like your personalized life lesson is meant to be there and it's happened and it's okay. But there's no reason to keep it in your pocket. Like you can let it go, let it be. It's okay because you have to keep moving forward. So like a big thing for me is just like I try not to. I'm very positive. I can be positive probably too far sometimes. I've really reeled it in. Okay. I used to be like, Miss, everything's so good. Da, 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 da. But now I'll be like, wow, yeah, this freaking sucks. But it's okay because I know boom, 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 boom. So it's like realizing it's like a situation is going to suck, but I also know how to look at it differently, like Kendra was saying, to make it happen because I'm able to do it. I'm able to enjoy what I'm doing, and I know how to do what I want to do as well. So it's like it all boils down to, if you want me to be honest with you, it's like you have to one be proud of who you are, know your worth, know your value, know what you're good at, and know that you have the right people around you to do so, and create the space that you feel comfortable in to do so, and creating habits and routines that make you feel on top of the world. You're like, wow, I did really good. I've done this. And it makes you just stronger as you go. And then you just love what you're doing and life seems amazing. You're like, wow, I'm unstoppable. This is sweet.
Aw.
And so it all pours into
I'm
it. And so it's like, just remember,
unstoppable. Sorry. I think
hmm,
that's Sia.
but it's true. It's so true though. It
Unstoppable.
makes you feel good. So
Yeah.
it's like, just things will add up. And, but I do challenge you all because it's like, you're going to feel really good doing something for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You're like, wow, I'm doing so good. It's like, yeah, you're doing really, really good. And you should be really proud of yourself and you're crushing it. Like, way to be. Great job. But now, how can you take it a little further? Because we all have to break that barrier at first of being uncomfortable, trying something new to really expand our life and our knowledge and what we're doing. But okay, now what? How can you go just a wee bit further?
Mhm.
And then again, and again, and again. And that's how you're going to continue to grow and love life even more and have more experiences and enjoy things maybe you thought you never would. Like, just knowing like it's never the end until you make it the end. So it's like continue just to go.
So, two things that you said I think were fantastic and deserve a little more time. Creating your space. Again, we talked about this came into to play when we talked about loving, your finding joy in your to-do list, which this basically is an
Mhm.
extension of that to some extent. Creating a space where you can go and just feel really connected, really quiet. Because I think that's plays a huge part in being able to love and enjoy your life is practicing being in it, practicing presence, because it's so easy to just think about what's coming and what's next. And, especially if you have a lot to do and a lot of responsibilities, what's for dinner? After dinner, we got to get the kids in the shower. After the kids are in the shower, we got to clean the house. And then what are Doug and I going to do tonight? Da, da, da. Obviously, this is me and my brain, but I know other people, you're thinking your own ways, right? Like, I got to do this and got to get this done. but having a sacred space where you can go and reconnect, essentially disconnect to reconnect. And you said you have your porch where you have put time and effort into it to just go and be. And I've been on that porch and I agree. When you create a sacred space with the intention of it being that, it becomes that, not only for you, but for everyone else. There's a real energy about it. You just sit and you just chat and you just have a yummy bev, you listen to the night sounds. It is such a special it's a special space. So I think that is tactical advice people could take away from this is create a space where you feel safe
Mhm.
at home, where that helps you feel present and, there and happy.
I'm kind of crazy, and I'm like, every room in my house needs to be different, but they all have a different feeling. So
Mhm.
like, I have to do it that way because they all have a different space and a different like energy and purpose and what I'm doing there and stuff. So it's like, if you have the time and like, and you don't have to go extravagant and buy this and this, but it's like, take the time to make your home feel like yours. Do what you can, whatever you can do, like make it your home, your space, your bedroom, your kitchen. Like, what do you like? There's no wrong or right with decorating. If it makes you feel good, you do it. If you like
Mhm.
it, you put it up, you put it on the wall. It does not matter. You put that rug down, you get those chairs. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever it is that makes you feel good, just do it. Create a space that feels good. It's okay. There's no right or wrong way.
Probably your whole space should feel good because if your bills are all over the counter, then every time you go in the kitchen, you're just going to be thinking about your bills. Or if you've got crap, laundry all over the floor, all you're going to be able to think about is laundry that you haven't done. Just put the laundry in a basket, put it away. You don't have to do it tonight. If you need some time, put the bills away. It's not time to think about finances. It's time to just be present. So maybe a clean space gets an honorable mention here as well, or a tidy space.
Yeah.
Your version of tidy might it's very unique, whatever you need, right? Um, the other thing that you said was you alluded to it anyway, was finding and following your purpose, knowing what your purpose is in life. Why do you get out of bed in the morning? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? It sounds maybe it sounds a little I don't know. I don't know how it sounds, but really like reconnecting with that purpose sounds awesome. Reconnect with that purpose. And if you don't know what that is, this is your invitation to find it. Because if you don't have a purpose in life, your joy and your happiness will go down significantly. And that's not just from me, that is proven. In fact, it's part of the blue zones. One of the things that helps these people like stay alive for so many years and stay healthy and well is they feel they have a purpose and they wake up every day knowing exactly what that is and it carries them through. So you said something about knowing why you're doing what you're doing. And I was like, yeah, that's a good one.
It's true though. Nothing's too small. Like, no dream or anything's too small or nothing's too big. Like, I'd rather push people to make big dreams. Like, go for it. Have your purpose, what you're doing, and don't think like you have to stay right where you are forever. There's so many resources. The sky's like the limit. Like I said, the end is only whatever you make the end. So if you know your 9 to 5 is your end, and then that's okay.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do. That's fine. That makes you happy. That's good. But if you have that feeling of like, I'm just not satisfied, like I'm missing something, I need something. And truthfully, like us doing the podcast was kind of funny because I actually came to Kendra and I was like, hey, I have an idea. Da, 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 da. I was like, I kind of want to start like speaking or something. I was like, I feel like I need to do something new and like expand out. She's like, oh my God, let's do the podcast. Because she was originally going to do the podcast on her own. I remember this. And you're like, oh my God. You're like, let's just do it. And I was like, well, this is cool. But it's like that, once again, is having the connection. I knew I could talk to Kendra about it. I had the relationship. I talked to her about it. And I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, I feel like it'd just be really fun. It'd be really exciting, something thrilling, different. And I went for it. And here we
Mhm.
are. And it's fun. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so cool. But it's like, I decided like I knew I have another purpose of something, and that's something else I want to do. So it's like, just don't hold yourself back. Just do it. If you fail, good. Learn
Good.
from it.
Something that is a really fun exercise and also really exposing and can be really probably intimidating, but again, really important is writing a personal mission statement. And a great way to do that is just to start writing, almost just brain dumping. Like, why you're here, things that you love, what you want to accomplish, what makes you feel alive, what motivates you. Just kind of start writing all of that stuff down. And then basically, a personal mission statement is a sentence long of why you're here on this planet. And it can shift. I, if you're like, I don't know what I'm doing here on this planet, but I know what I'm doing here right now, then use that. And then if you need to revisit it, that's fine. Absolutely, that's fine. It's your freaking personal mission statement. Just whatever you feel like your purpose is right now on this planet, what you can do, what you can accomplish, what you're here to help with, write it down, figure out a way to condense it into a sentence, and then write it and then put it somewhere. If you want to keep it private, that's fine, but keep it somewhere where you can revisit it and remind yourself, like, is this in line with my personal mission? And also, like, why am I getting out of bed in the morning? Oh yeah, I have a purpose. I have a reason to be alive and to exist on this planet. It's very invigorating. Very invigorating indeed. Okay, Lauren. Um, so we talked actually some of the notes that I took for this we've already touched on pretty organically, which is really fun. But let's talk about gratitude. I know this is something that is very cliche, but it's cliche for a reason. I always say that if it's a cliche for a reason because it's helpful, it's real, it's true. So,
Yeah.
how does gratitude play a role in living a happy life and loving the life that you live?
You have to like see everything you're doing for one, see everything you have in front of you. You have to appreciate it. I honestly like I love my house and I'm very grateful to have my house, but it's realizing it's like, okay, this is my home and I love to take care of it. I'm very grateful for it. And like I've been allowed like I've had the ability to do this and decorate it and paint it and redo things and all this, and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm every day I am, and I do that by taking care of my home, taking care of my spaces, and realizing gratitude doesn't have to be, I'm grateful for water because it's healthy for me. No, go a little bit bigger. What are you really grateful for? What are you excited to do every day? Like, I will vacuum every day. I love vacuuming. This probably is a weird example, but this is how I take care of my home. And I'm grateful for my vacuum, to be able to clean my house, to have my home, to have a clean home for me and my husband. So it's like having, like, being grateful, expressing gratitude. I really challenge everybody to take it a little further. See the bigger picture and your thoughts of life and how you do things and how far you go become much more and you'll see things differently.
Hmm.
So that's my take on gratitude. What about you there?
It's so easy to forget the things that we already enjoy as we're pursuing more. And we're never going to stop pursuing more. That's just human nature. We've talked about this. It's in our genes, it's in our DNA, it's in our blood, it's in our makeup. Like we are built to continue to want more and to get more and to become more, and that's wonderful. Uh, but there's a healthy balance of being able to look around now and see what you have now, because if you don't, then why would you, we and this is again something we've mentioned, why would you be grateful, why would you want more if you can't be grateful for what you have now? What makes you think you'd be grateful when you have more, you know? I think it's perspective is such a beautiful thing because I my grandma, she's recently passed, but she lived in Mexico my whole life, and I would go to Mexico for like the whole summer and get used to it, get comfortable with it, and then I would come home like just this last time even, when we went for her funeral, I came home and I've been giving my house a lot of crap because we live in Austin, Texas. Our house is not cheap and it is not huge for what we pay for it. You know, somewhere else we could have a much bigger house for what we pay for this house. And sometimes I give it a lot of time. I had been giving it a hard time, like, oh, it's just so small and there's not enough space and blah, blah, blah. Then I came home and I just pulled up to my home and was like, wow, my house is so big, you know? It's just so much about perspective. So, yeah, really nothing new. Just remember that you really already have everything you need right now. You don't need more. You've got everything you need. I mean, the fact that we live in America, in the United States of America, the fact that you're listening to this podcast, probably driving to work, like you have a job, you know what I'm saying? Like you have everything you need right now. You don't need more. From here on out, it's just want. From here on out, it's just a gift. And guess what? Everything that you have now is a gift as well. So embracing that and accepting that and seeing that for what it is, I think can be a really powerful thing as well. Um, let's give a mention though to like really just a tail end onto the end of this. Sometimes there are things that legitimately get in the way of us being able to enjoy our lives, like chemical imbalances. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in chemical and hormonal imbalances. Uh, Lauren and I are big on blood work, getting labs done, especially if you feel like you're in a rut that you can't come out of. There's a level of surrender, and then there's a level of, if you want to know if there's something going on under the surface and you're not ready to dig into the emotional elements of it, you could go get tested and get some help for hormonal regulation and gut regulation because that will affect your serotonin levels and can actually prevent you from feeling actual happiness and living your life. And then also, um, I I know my husband has no problem with me saying this because he just is so grateful for them. But he recently got on what is it, SSRI and SSRI, which is basically an anti-anxiety, anti-depression medication. Y'all, I kid you not when I say it was days. Within days, his world changed. Um, I compare medication for stuff like that to like caffeine to get to your workout. I do think you can work through whatever it is that's creating these imbalances on an energetic level. Sometimes you just need a little help to get you through that work. So, if you're not going to go work out because you just don't have the energy and the motivation, and having a scoop of pre workout is going to help get you to the gym, take the pre workout. Same thing with these medications. If you just can't force yourself out of this. Sometimes you really just can't. And you can make it worse and worse and worse because you can't get out of here. Take the freaking medicine. That's my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree. There's definitely situations where you need to, but it's like, don't forget how powerful food is and how powerful your mind is and everything you can be doing. And everyone's probably heard like your stomach's your second brain, and it's the brain gut connection. And you have your vagus nerve that's coming all the way through it. You have everything, all your neurotransmitters are firing up and down. Everything's going. Anything that's in your gut is getting released basically everywhere. So your immune system's in your gut. If your gut's leaky, everything that's supposed to be in your gut to help break down food, absorb it, and remove any waste is now floating around. So yeah, you're gonna feel a little crazy because there's a lot going on that shouldn't be going on. So it's crucial to literally take care of your gut health and take care of yourself on many levels, in the sense of like taking care of your mind, getting enough rest, getting your hormones balanced out, and making sure you are taking that control and really applying it, because you have control every day of what you put in your mouth, what you put in your fridge, what you put in your cabinet. Like, pick the right things, because guess what, they'll make you feel way better, and you'll feel on top of the world when you eat the right food that's going to feed you, and it's not going to cause digestive issues. When your stomach's off, your mind's off, and even your energy will be off, your sleep will be off. If your hormones are off, guess what, you're struggling to sleep, your sex hormones are definitely off, you're probably not getting enough melatonin, you're probably having cortisol spikes at weird times throughout the day and weird drops throughout the day. And so it's like there's much more going on, and all this could literally just because of our gut health, because that could throw everything off. And knowing that you have a lot of control of what we put in our bodies, how we do it, how we talk about ourselves. Are we giving ourselves water, or are we doing pop all day? Are we doing a piece of fruit and maybe some nuts of some sort, or are you doing a candy bar for breakfast? Make the choice.
Yeah.
And the choice will make you feel better. You'll love life because you'll notice how you feel and what's going on. So it's like, don't forget, like, food is medicine. You can do a lot with it. And if medication is something you need, that's okay. Take it and work through it. And now, when you're taking it, take care of your body even more so. Take control on every level, because you guys, I could go on forever about brain gut connection, because this is my jam right here. The
Yeah.
brain gut connection, what it does, how it feels. And so just know, like, if you take care of your body, it'll treat you very well.
And into what you take in doesn't just stop with what you put in your mouth, right? Like the people that you spend time with, the things that you consume, the entertainment, the education, all of that stuff. Like, are you spending more time looking at the news, or are you reading books about self-improvement, or even just taking time to read a book that you love, you know? Invest your time and your efforts into things that will improve your situation, not make it harder on yourself, you know? And honestly, probably the thing that helps me to enjoy my life the most and to just love my life is to just let it, like, not compare it to anyone else's and not compare myself to anyone else. Like, I am just living and I'm here. Like, I don't want to miss out on my life because it doesn't look like someone else's. It's such a weird thing that we do. We do it so much. Like, I need their stuff. I need their situation. It's like, no, you just live yours and just enjoy the crap out of it, you know? Like, there's no reason that you can't just feel. I was just saying to myself earlier on my little universe walk today that sexy is a state of mind, success is a state of mind, and security is a state of mind. And guess what? Your life, being happy and enjoying your life, the level of perfection of your life is also a state of mind. Just decide. I love my life and I'm going to have a ton of fun doing it. You'll find yourself dancing more and laughing louder and not giving a crap about what other people think about it because you're just living your life and you're having a great time doing it.
Mhm. I
Live
agree.
your life.
Take a moment, do a little self reflection. Like, what are you doing to love life? Do you need to have more fun? What can you do to have more fun? And just take small moves, they'll all add up, and just really enjoy it. It'll be as great and as grand as you want it to be. So make it grand, make it great. Enjoy it, enjoy your connections, everything around you, people, what you're doing in life. Just enjoy it, be proud, and enjoy the low moments too. Personalized life lessons are golden if you listen to them. So listen to them, learn from them, move on, and you'll feel good. You really will. We really appreciate you guys. And if there's anybody that would benefit from this podcast, please send it. And if you guys have any questions on it or any tips, what you do to love life, please send them in and we'll get them out. And we truly appreciate y'all. And I think that's it. So we will see you. Oh, the eyebrows. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.